I'm Stephen.
I'm Andrew.
I moved up from Dunedin and Queenstown in 2001. It's sort of spent about 9 months of the year in Wellington.
Yeah, and I've been in New Zealand a few times, but I arrived November last year, this time around. So, well, yeah, for me it's just kind of weird and hard to understand that there isn't equality. It's a pretty arbitrary distinction. So it's just a question of being treated the same as anybody else, and kind of straightforward in that sense.
I think for the next little while, in my mind anyway, there's this option of having to choose between civil unions and marriage. Hopefully, what it sort of means in the long run is that we get to do away with that really awkward legal construct of civil unions, which was really put there to give us something like marriage without really giving us full marriage. But I think it's going to be positive as well because once you do merge the two together, it might bring a bit of change, a bit of reform to the way that people think about marriage. So it's not that conservative sort of tried and true house, white picket fence, dog, 2.1 kids kind of marriage, which quite a few of my straight couple friends, they sort of rail against it as well.
I guess for me, there's almost a feeling of relief. There's the fact that things are progressing to that point. There are still lots of issues, like walking hand in hand with your partner down the street, even in a progressive country like the one that we're in, can be a problem. You can get people shouting at you and stuff. But as more and more of these artificial barriers just fall, and people find something more important to worry about, then people like us can just kind of get on with their lives and enjoy it, and just be seen as people, not these kind of daft labels that everybody insists on. The most obvious challenge at the moment would be Russia. But I think in time, the response to it in particular has been interesting because it's all wrapped up with finance and the Olympics and everything else, but the general moral level response has been one of not really comprehending how it could occur, that sort of legal change, which shows how times have altered now. People are far more accepting, far more understanding. There's this cascade effect with countries like New Zealand and many more, Britain soon as well, accepting gay marriage, and hopefully that will continue. So the same old challenges as before, but every little step is just getting better and better.
If you look at Southeast Asia, there's acceptance of gay people. I mean, they're a part of government, they're part of all kinds of business. It's still technically criminal, they don't police it, but there's always this feeling that even though you've got whole parts of the city, entertainment parts of the city that devoted to gay culture, gay bars and clubs and saunas and everything else, that it could just be taken away from you at any time because the law is still what it is. So that's the external part. I think internally in countries like New Zealand and Australia, where the acceptance is rapidly gaining ground, we just have to look after people after they come out. That there's options, really good, strong alternatives other than this drug-fueled, alcohol-fueled nightlife side of the gay scene. That there's a lot of positivity waiting for them when they come out and realize that I can live a full life doing the things that I love. Large crowds.
Yeah, large crowds, just meeting people, and that's one place where events like that, where you don't need to worry about the whole hand-in-hand with your partner or anything. Any anxieties you might normally have around day-to-day people because of the sort of things they're talking about, they just disappear. And that's really nice, just having those. I mean, it's almost like your first time when you go to a gay bar or something like that and you realise that there's lots of other people and you can just relax and be yourself.
Yep.
So it's that kind of thing, just everybody joining together. And, not just gay people, there'll be everybody there. It doesn't matter what the sexuality is, everybody just gets on with it and enjoys it.